Hi folks, Doyle Dykes here. Welcome to my Guitar Pour series. And isn't rosewood just beautiful? This is beautiful Indian rosewood. It's a guitar made back in the 80s, and this was designed by my friend George Gruen. And I just love the inlays on it, and the headstock's a little smaller, which is easier for me to do the string bend and everything. So I love this guitar. It was actually given to me. I went to a church. I was at a church in Philadelphia. A friend of mine pastors there, Pastor Joe Foch. It's a wonderful church. It's a Calvary Chapel. And there was a guy that walked up to me before church and he said, "Doyle, I want you to have something." His name was Bill Craven. Didn't know Bill, but he had this guitar, had it in a nice case and everything, had the original paperwork on it, the strap and everything. And he had loved on this guitar for years. It was his main guitar. Had a few issues that I had to deal with, but I let my friend Kelly Barber out at Action Sound. He had it for a little while, and he and Johnny Reno fixed this thing, and it had a cracked headstock that had been repaired and had rods in it. He took all that out, and now you can't even hardly tell it at all. People, if you wondered, would you invest in a guitar that had a cracked headstock or busted headstock? If it's done right, it'll never break there again. It's what Chris Fleming told me one time, and he fixed one of my other guitars that I had and that I just loved, and he put it in a halo. It looked like it was. I said, "Well, my guitar was in the hospital. It was in the hospital for about 6 months," and he fixed it, and you'll never know that it was fixed. And so anyway, this is it looks like an F46 MT, and but it was George Gruen. George designed this guitar, and there were several different models. I think he also did a dreadnought, and this is more like a small jumbo, sort of like my Olson, and it has a small neck on it. I have light strings on them. And so you can tell that. So anyway, but I did that because I just wanted to kind of relax my arm while I was home this week, and have my little Orange Crush acoustic 30 here, and so I'm set. And I wanted to go over the song. It's called Zaccheus. It used to be called Zaccheus Coming Down. I wrote it on the bus with Grandpa Jones, and I guess I was thinking about his banjo playing because it's tuned in the key of G. I'll tune it down, turn it down just a little bit. By the way, Kelly also put an LB6, which is my favorite pickup by L.R. Baggs. Same thing that my other guitars have. My signature Gill that's here, and I'll do more on this guitar too. I just want to play something a little different, but it has the LB6. My Olson guitars all have the LB6. Wonderful, wonderful pickup. So I want to just show you and give you an idea of what this is. Now, in the beginning, I'm just clowning around. I go. Now, those are just banjo ideas. It's not even part of the song. But I think what I did, I had to think exactly. Then I add the bass. And hit a little harmonic up here. Key of G, tuned in G chord. So it's tuned in a chord. So it's D, B, G, D, G, D. And then you'll see what I do in the middle of the song. So it's like it's like a double harmony. And I have the Chet Atkins style bass, and I'm muting it. Just a bar. Catch those two. See it? Just a little hammer on with two notes, and then run it up 2 frets and back down. And sometimes so it's a double pull off. So you're doing that with your bass. So change a little bit that. And then this is something I learned early on, and Jerry Reed really got into this, but Larry McNeely, the banjo player that was with Glenn Campbell, did this type of thing. They call them chromatic runs, but they're not chromatic scales. But it's every other note is an open string. So it's open fretted, open fretted, open fretted. So you just follow it on up. And then you end up with 2 notes. So same thing. And you just let them cascade and run into each other, you know. So, and so let me do a little faster. Now I'm doing this with, like Merle Travis would have done it with just my index and my thumb. And here's a pull-off. Now remember, I do my pull-offs backwards. I pull up instead of down, but I'm not saying it's right, but it's just the way I do it. So pull off, and then catch this one on the second string, and then open on the first, and then it's like a roll, like a banjo. That's a banjo lick. Those are banjo runs, and then a harmonic. And while I'm doing that, I'm actually tuning the second string. Now I've never played the song on this guitar, folks. So when you really get good at it and you're playing your guitar all the time, you can just do it without thinking about it. But I have to think a little more on this one. I'm not used to the ratio of these. The ratio of keys or tuners are different. But you go a half step down. And so the next time you play it through, very similar, but it's in G minor. So let me back up. Okay. Now there's a little off of them. And it sounds like I'm hitting 2 of them there, but I'm on. And then I do the 2 with the first. Because you're in a minor key. So it's very similar fingerings, but a little bit different. similar too. And it's very similar to the first one, but it's because it's in a minor. You tune this down to half step. Now it's a minor chord. Now I'm going to stop right there. We're going to pick up where we left off on the next video. Thanks very much.